Member from Toronto Danforth.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question to the Premier. Does the Premier have an internal estimate of what Ontarians could end up paying for the Liberal decision to try and cancel the $5.5 billion contract signed with Windstream?
Thank you. Premier.
Minister of Energy.
Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank the honourable member for the question. When it relates to the Windstream, the tribunal decision, Mr. Speaker, we have 20 days to review the entire decision, and we are working with our federal counterparts, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we look at all issues that are relating to this, Mr. Speaker. We are very, concerned, as we would be, Mr. Speaker, and doing our due diligence is very important, and so that's what we will continue to do over the next 20 days, or the total 20 days, Mr. Speaker. We will work with our federal counterparts, and we will work with our lawyers to determine what steps are next. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, I did ask a very different question, but nonetheless. I spent months on the gas plant committee getting to the bottom of how the Liberals wasted $1.1 billion by putting the interests of the Liberal Party ahead of people in Ontario struggling to pay their hydro bills. When Liberals and Conservatives sign private energy contracts, it means Ontarians are locked in to paying the profits of those private energy companies. What we learned in the gas plant scandal is that when Liberal politicians cancel those private contracts, people still end up on the hook for paying those profits. How much are Ontarians going to have to pay because Liberals signed a $5.5 billion private energy contract with Windstream? How much?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't think that the member is hearing what we're saying. We have a 20-day, moratorium in which we have to work with our federal counterparts to review the decision, and that's what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. We're carefully reviewing that decision, and we're going to continue to work with Canada because we believe that they're doing the same, Mr. Speaker. Our decision to place a moratorium on offshore wind is one our government still believes is correct, Mr. Speaker, and so we're taking this cautious approach to offshore wind, which includes finalizing research to make sure that we are protective of both human health and of the environment, Mr. Speaker. So, we've been advised of the tribunal's decision in the NAFTA Chapter 11 dispute between U.S.-based Windstream Energy, LLC, and Canada, Mr. Speaker. And, I think it's important to state that the tribunal dismissed the majority of claims, with the final $25 million award being significantly less. But we'll continue to work with Canada on this, Mr. Speaker.
Final supplementary.
Man, talk about avoiding the question. Speaker, cancelling the gas plants cost Ontarians over $1 billion because the Liberals signed private power contracts. Selling Hydro One will cost Ontarians because the Liberals are handing it over to private owners. Now, because the Liberals signed a $5.5 billion private wind contract, Ontarians could be on the hook for paying 20 years of profits with 0 years of electricity. Let's be honest. If this had been a public project that had been cancelled, we would be on the hook for those items that had been purchased. Because it's a for-profit project, Ontarians could be on the hook for billions of dollars in profits. Are Ontarians looking at the gas plant scandal all over again?
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me once again be very clear that we are reviewing the decision. We have 20 days to do so, and we'll continue to do so. In the member opposite's question, he's being very speculative, Mr. Speaker. And you know what? For us, on this side, let's talk about some of the facts. When it comes to renewable energy, Mr. Speaker, we have 18,000 megawatts of renewable energy online. We are one of the best in North America when it comes to renewable contracts, Mr. Speaker. We are very proud that we've eliminated coal. We've invested in renewables, Mr. Speaker. We don't have to send out warnings anymore about smog days, Mr. Speaker, so people can go outside and breathe appropriately. You know what, Mr. Speaker, we're very proud of our record on this side of the House, and when it comes to Windstream, Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to work with the federal government to look at all aspects and do our due diligence. Thank you very much.